Why, hi there, I'm Ron Jeckett, and welcome to Game 2 of our Wednesday night baseball doubleheader between the San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals from Candlestick Park in San Francisco. And as we come back on the air about 6:40 Eastern Time this June 10th, 1964, or 25 years before I graduated from high school, we can tell you that the Giants shut out the Cardinals and Bob Gibson 4-0 in the first game. The ticker is running. Hopefully we have some games. So in this nightcap, it's Ron Herbel, who is 1-1 on the year, 28 innings, 40 hits, no homers. He's walked 8 and struck out 21. Hopefully that helps. And this will be the defense around him for Game 2. It's Willie McCovey in left, Willie Mays in center. Harvey Keene is actually playing right field. He came and pinch hit in Game 1. Jim Ray Hart is at third. Guy Garrido is at short. Chuck Hiller at second. Orlando Cepeda at first. And Tom Holler gets the double duty of catching both games. Mays, of course, the better defender. 10-10. And here's a lineup that they will face. The Giants, by the way, are 29-22. The Cardinals are 27-26. The Giants had lost 6 straight before this one. It'll be Curt Flood leading off in center. Dick Groth, the shortstop, bats second. Bill White moves up to third in Game 2. He'll bat third. Or first in yes, I had it right. Ken Boyer cleans up at third. Charlie James with the big error in Game 1 will bat fifth and play left. Tim McCarver is your catcher. He'll bat sixth. Lewis, the right fielder, bats seventh. Julian Javier will bat eighth. And Glenn Hobby will bat ninth and pitch for the Cardinals. And so these are games that are going on right now. In the opener of a twin bill at Fenway, the Red Sox beat the Yankees. Yes, the Red Sox actually beat the Yankees. 11-2. Frank pursued 3 for 5. Williams with a loss for New York, and Jack LeMabe goes 5-7 with a win for the Red Sox. Bottom 3. Angels 5, Indians nothing. Bo Belinsky and Pedro Ramos going in that one. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia scoreless in the top of the first. Friend and Short going there. Minnesota, who is now trailing the Yankees for first place. In Detroit, scoreless in the top of the first. Lee Stang and Mickey Lolich going for the Tigers. So Flood now at 350. No homers and 23 RBI. And let's start Game 2 with a walk, shall we? Rio pitch low and away. That's ball 4. Kurtz, by the way, 5th in the National League with a 350 average. And 424 against the Giants. Dick Groth is at 298. A homer and 32 RBI. Herbel delivers, and there's a ground ball left side. Base hit. So runners on first and second. Nobody out. For White, at 252, 6 homers and 33 RBI. Herbel delivers. There's a fly ball deep to right. Back goes Keene, who makes the catch. Flood will move to third. 1 out. Groth will hold, and that'll bring up Ken Boyer. Kenny at 281, 11 homers, and 41 RBI. Game 54 for the Cardinals, and Game 52 for the Giants. And everyone trails Pittsburgh. Fly ball to center. Mays has it. Flood will tag and score without a throw. And the Cardinals get their first run of the night. 1-0. Hard to believe that Bob Gibson is 5-5 on the year with that loss in Game 1. Here's Charlie James. Charlie at 250. 7 homers, 25 RBI. 2 out. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to third. Hart flips it over to Hillard to retire the side. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors. After 1/2 of 1 inning, the Cardinals won. The Giants coming up. And so it'll be Glenn Hobby, who primarily was known, you see that C on his hat, as a pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. The defense behind him, Charlie James in left, Curt Flood in center. And I believe that's Johnny Lewis in right. Flood, the better defender of the three. He's a 10-9. Around the infield, it's Kenny Boyer at third. Dick Groth at short. Julian Javier at second. Bill White at first. Groth is the weak link at a 7. The others are 9s and 10s. McCarver is a very good defensive catcher. A 9 range and an 8 arm, and Hobby is 1-0 on the year. 6 innings, 6 hits. He's walked 3 and struck out 3. And if you're wondering when Lou Brock will come, it's soon. It's in 5 days. He comes on the 15th. Here's the lineup that Hobby will face in Game 2 of this twin bill. Harvey Keene will lead it off and play right. Chuck Hiller bats second. Willie Mays back down to third for Game 2. Willie McCovey cleans up. Cepeda will bat fifth. Holler will bat sixth. Jim Ray Hart bats seventh to third. Guerrero, the shortstop, will bat eighth. And Herbal, who threw 15 pitches, will bat ninth. So here's Keene, 296, no homers and 7 RBI. Not a great defender, but he's here for his bat, and he'll fly that one foul to left. So full count to Harvey, 3-2. Pitch from Hobby, ground ball to third. Boyer over to White, 1 out. Pirates and Phillies scoreless in the second. Yankees and White Sox for you on Saturday, as the American League race really heats up. Pittsburgh still with a comfortable lead here in the National League. Here's Hiller at 147, a homer and 5 RBI. Hobby's pitch. There's a liner right to a ground ball to Hobby, over to White for the out. Here's Willie, had a home run in Game 1. Now it's 5 RBI against the Cardinals. That's it. 301, 12 homers now, and 33 RBI on the year. Hobby's pitch. There's a fly ball to left. Back goes James to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1, it's 1-0 St. Louis. It'll be Tim McCarver, Johnny Lewis, and Julian Javier for the Cardinals here in the second. Glenn Hobby, should anyone reach. McCarver at 276, 6 homers and 22 RBI. Herbal delivers fouled on the first base side, not a play. So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tim. And he lines out one to right. Keene is there, makes the catch. 1 out for Johnny Lewis, who is at 290, 3 homers and 11 RBI. He did not play in Game 1. Here's a liner to right. That will drop for a base hit, so that's the second Cardinal hit. And here's Javier, leading at 237, 3 homers and 12 RBI. Pitch from Herbal, ground ball to third. Hart to second for 1, to Cepeda for 2. They turn it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the second here in San Francisco. The Giants won. The Cardinals won. The Giants nothing. So here's Willie McCovey at 200, 6 homers and 18 RBI. Hobby is ready. Here's the pitch. Here's a chopper to first. White to Hobby for the out. Second inning at Tiger Stadium. The Twins and Tigers scoreless. That's a big one. Sox and Yankees are playing. Will play a second of their twin bill. Red Sox won the first one. Complete scores after the third. Here's Cepeda, 313, 9 homers and 23 RBI. Was hit by Gibson early on in the first game, and that opened up the floodgates for San Francisco. Hobby's pitch is a fly ball to left. James is there. 1 out. Here's Tom Holler, 311, 6 homers, 22 RBI. Hobby's pitch. That's up the middle. That'll be a base hit. So there's the first hit for the Giants in Game 2. A single up the middle, and that'll bring up Jim Ray Hart, who's at 293, 11 homers and 30 RBI. 2 outs. Hobby's still looking quite comfortable out there. Hart swings, and it's a fly ball to left that Charlie James will corral to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 2, it's 1-0 St. Louis. So Glenn Hobby will bat, with Flood and Grote to follow, and if any of them should reach, it'll be Bill White. Hobby 2 for 4 on the year. He's doubled twice. Herbal pitches, ball 4. Not what you want to do with a pitcher. So the first 9 batters in 2 innings and 34 pitches for Ron. 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, and he's walked 2. Brings up Kurt Flood, who walked and scored in the first. The other walk was Boyer. Or maybe not, because he's got an RBI. Pitch from Herbal. There's a little drag bunt down. Herbal will field it over to Hiller, and that's an out. So 1 out. Hobby moves up to second, and that'll bring up Grote, who singled his first time up. Angels 5-0 over Cleveland in the 5th. Here's the pitch to Grote. That will get home a run as he puts one into Mays. That's going to be for extra bases. Grote's in with a double. And that'll bring up Bill White, who's 0 for 1. So the Cardinals now take a 2-0 lead and would love to get a split of this twin bill. Herbal's pitch up the middle. Hiller with an absolute web gem. He dove by the bag at second and just spun one off his knees to retire White. So 2 out. Grote moves to third, and here's Boyer, who has an RBI. Does not have a sac fly, must have been. Oh yeah, Hobby took the other walk. Duh. So 2-0 St. Louis. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Herbal's pitch. Chopper to third. Hart to Cepeda, and that retires the side. Not before the Cardinals get one more run on a hit. No errors after 2.5. 2-0 St. Louis. So it's Gil Garrido, not Guy, to start the third. Ron Herbal and Harvey Keene for the Giants. Hobby's ready. Pitch to Garrido. Didn't give you the stats. Ground ball to Grote. Over to White for the out. So here's Herbal, who is 0 for 12 on the year. And in real life went 0 for 47. So if he gets a hit, give yourself an internet cookie. They're tasty. Pitch from Hobby. There's a ground ball to third. Boyer to White. And so you can save your rice cake for later. 2 out. That'll bring up Harvey Keene, the first 9 batters for Hobby, in 36 pitches and 2 2/3 innings. And he's given up a hit. Everything else has a 0 by it. Harvey's 0 for 1. Hobby delivers, and that's ball 4. So the first walk for Glenn Hobby. And that'll bring up Chuck Hiller. He's 0 for 1. Hitting 145. He's really slumping. There's a ground ball to second. Javier over to first, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 3, it's 2-0 St. Louis. So let's look at the scoreboard. Red Sox did beat the Yankees 11-2 in the first game of their doubleheader. Angels lead the Indians 5-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Belinsky and Ramos still pitching. Pittsburgh and Philly 1-1 bottom of the 3rd. Tigers and Twins from Detroit scoreless in the top of the 4th. And bottom 3 from RFK, it's the Athletics 3, the Senators nothing. Dick Boesfield and Daniels pitching in that one. Pitch to James, strike 3. A 2-2 pitch was swung on and missed. First strikeout for anybody in game 2. Here's McCarver. Tim is 0 for 1. There's a liner in the left that will fall for a base hit for Tim. Garrido should have had it. He didn't, and that'll bring up Johnny Lewis, who singled. That's the 4th hit for the Cardinals. Giants have 1. Herbal's pitch, and that's ball 4. So this has not been a strong start for Herbal, and you can see why. Gaylord Perry isn't in the rotation till the end of June because he closed out game 1. Marichal pitched in the game on Tuesday on the 9th. And he's the only active Giant starter that had more than 30 starts. Here's Javier. He's 0 for 1. Herbal's pitch, and that's going to get to the wall. McCarver will score. Lewis will hold. Javier has a double. It's 3-0 St. Louis on the RBI wall ball to left center. And so I'll bring up Hobby, who walked and scored his first time up. He scored 3 runs now on the year. Has a chance for at least 1 RBI with 1 out. Herbal's pitch is a fly ball to left. McCovey should have it. Lewis will tag and not draw a throw. It's 4-0 St. Louis. So Herbal, through the first 18 batters, is not doing all that well. 3 2/3 innings, 69 pitches, 5 hits, 4 runs all earned. He has walked 3 and struck out the 1. Kurt Flood has a walk and a sacrifice bunt. He's 0 for 0 with a run scored. Not bunting here, but he'll draw the walk. So it's amazing the difference. You can look bad at one game and then come back and look unbeatable the next, and that's what the Cardinals have done. Here's Grote. He's 2 for 2. He has singled, doubled, and drove in one of the 4 Cardinal runs. 2 on, 2 out. Pitch, ground ball to short. Garrido to Hiller at second, and that retires the side. Not before the Cardinals tack on 2 more after 3.5. 4-0. They have 2 hits in the inning and 5 total. So here's Willie Mays. Willie is 0 for 1. And Hobby feels pretty relaxed right now. He's got a 4-run lead. Ground ball to second. Javier from the grass over to White. 1 out. Here's McCovey. McCovey's 0 for 1. Hitting 199 now. Chopper to White. Takes it himself. 2 out. They'll bring up Cepeda. Orlando is 0 for 1. They're scoreless in Detroit, by the way, in the 5th. No score between the Twins and Tigers. Cepeda, there's a line drive base hit in the hole on the right side. So that's a second Giant hit. And here's the other man with a hit tonight, Tom Holler. He's 1 for 1 with a single. So both the Giant hits were singles, or are singles. There's a ground ball to short. Grote to Javier for the fielder's choice to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 4 full, it's St. Louis 4, San Francisco nothing. So White, Boyer, and James for the Cardinals here in the 5th. Bill is 0 for 2. Pops that one up. Garrido, 1 out. Here's Ken Boyer. Boyer is 0 for 1 with an RBI, his 42nd of the year. Herbal's pitch, ball 4. So that's the 5th walk given up by Herbal, and I'm surprised the computer is not telling me he doesn't seem to be all that sharp today. 90 pitches through 4 in the 3rd. Here's Charlie James. He has the game's only strikeout. He's 0 for 2. There's the pitch. There goes Boyer. The throw down, and Boyer's thrown out. So the pitch was a strike. I think that was a straight steal. Kind of an interesting call with a 42% chance of doing it. But a mistake for the Cardinals as they potentially run themselves out of the inning. Big one in Chicago tonight. Baltimore 1, White Sox nothing in the 2nd. Cardinals, by the way, in their road grays with their familiar Cardinals across the front and script with the 2 Cardinals sitting on a bat. Blue hats with the red interlocking STL with white outline. Giants in their home white with Giants and their familiar print on the front in brown and orange outline with the brown hat with the interlocking orange SF. Those are the unis. Pitch to James is a fly ball to left. McCovey's there, and he retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Halfway home. We'll see if the base running blunder hurts, but it's still the Cardinals 4, the Giants nothing. So Hart, Garrido, and Herbal here in the 5th. Hart is 0 for 1. I guess we'll try to milk another inning out of Herbal. Let's see what happens, though. He could be done now, depending on what the Giants do here. Hart, fly ball to center. Back goes Flood, 1 out. That's not going to get the pitcher changed. Gil Garrido at 179 currently with no homers and 2 RBI. Ground ball to short. Grote with a wonderful dive over to first in time for the out. So since there's nobody on, Herbal will stay in the game. He's 0 for 1. Hobby delivers, and there's a ground ball to White, who makes a diving stop from his knees, flips it to Hobby to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 5, it's still 4-0 St. Louis. So McCarver, Lewis, and Javier for St. Louis here in the 6th. McCarver has singled. He's 1 for 2, and he scored 1 of the 4 runs. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to right center. Back goes Mays and Keene. McCarver will be on with a double. Keane went back to the warning track, but it was just over his head. So that's the 6th hit for St. Louis. And I'll bring up Johnny Lewis, who was singled and walked, also has a run scored. So the Cardinals really would like to put this away right now. Pitch from Herbal. Fly ball to right. Keane's there. 1 out. McCarver tries for third and he's safe. Not a great throw by the rubber arm Keane. Keane was taken back to the track. And so McCarver moves to third easily. 69 degrees right now in San Francisco. Winds are blowing out to 8 right to center. So if you can catch the jet stream, you can actually put one out of here. They're playing in with 1 out and the runner on third. Here's the pitch from Earl. Chopper to Garrido's only throw is to first is in time. McCarver does not run, and so it worked. I'll bring up the pitcher Glenn Hobby, who has walked and scored and has an RBI. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Hiller by the bag at second. To retire the side, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 5.5, it's still 4-0 St. Louis. So Glenn Hobby starts his third trip through the Giant lineup in 18 batters and a tiny 73 pitches. More importantly, 5 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and no strikeouts. There's only been 1 strikeout in the game, which was not by Keane. Chopper to short, Grote to White for the out. So Harvey's 0 for 2 now with a walk. A lone walk given up by Mr. Hobby. Chuck Hiller's 0 for 2. Oh, it's a hit. Grote couldn't get it out in time, so Keane beat it out. See, that's what you get when you look away. So Keane is on first with a single. That's the 3rd Giant hit. And then I'll bring up Hiller, who's 0 for 2. Pitch from Hobby. There's a line drive to right. Lewis snags it for the out. 1 out. That'll bring up Willie Mays, 0 for 2. He homered in game 1 in the Giant 4-0 win. The Cardinals lead 4-0 in the nightcap. Pitch to Mays. Struck him out. A 1-2 pitch. That was a strike 3 call. Here's McCovey. Willie is 0 for 2. There's a long drive to right. It'll drop in front of Lewis. Keane does not have a lot of speed. He will hold at second. You don't want to run yourself out of the inning here. And with 2 out, here's Cepeda, who is singled. He's 1 for 2. Runners on first and second for the Giants. A ground ball to Javier over to White, and that retires the side. So no runs on 2 hits and no errors. The Giants strand them both. After 6, it's 4-0 St. Louis. So let me take a look at the scoreboard here. We told you that the Red Sox beat the Yankees in Game 1, 11-2. Bottom 9 in Cleveland. The Angels are about to beat the Indians 6-0. Kirkpatrick 3 for 5 for Los Angeles. Philadelphia on top of Pittsburgh, so good news for the rest of the National League tonight, 4-1. Minnesota and Detroit 1-1 in the 7th. Top of the 7th. Al Kaline with a solo shot for the Tigers. Kansas City leads the Senators 3-0 on the top of the 8th. Ridzik is now pitching for Washington. And in the 4th, top of the 4th at Comiskey, Jerry Adar with the lone run of the game, a solo shot. Baltimore 1, the White Sox 0. Robin Robertson, Gary Peters pitching in that one. You'll see the White Sox Saturday against the Yankees on the Game of the Week. Right here, Ron Herbal, as he starts his 4th trip through, and 27 batters, 105 pitches, 6 innings, 6 hits. He's walked 5. 4 runs allowed, all of them earned, and with 1 strikeout. Flood has walked twice and scored. Here's the pitch. Got him. He struck him out. A 1-2 pitch at the knees. Herbal would bat 4th in the bottom of this inning, so he will not bat again. Here's Dick Grote. He is singled, doubled, 2 for 3 with an RBI. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Holler takes off the mask and makes the catch. Bill White is 0 for 3. Surprising. One of the better hitters in all of baseball. 303 on the real year and is now hitting 249. Pitch White. Fly ball to left center. Mays comes in, makes the catch to retire the side. Stretch time here at Candlestick. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 6.5, it's still 4-0 St. Louis. So Haller, Hart, and Garrido here for the Giants in the 7th off a hop to face Hobby, who needs 9 outs for the shutout. Pitch to Haller, who's 1 for 2. Ground ball to Javier at second, over to White, 1 out. Here's Jim Ray Hart. Jim is 0 for 2. Javi's pitch. There's a liner down the line. That will be extra bases. James will pick it up. Hart will stop at second. And that'll bring up a pinch hitter. And so with a righty, we're going to go with Jim Davenport, who's at 333, no homers and 13 RBI. Has a chance for an RBI here with a base hit. Hart has moderate speed. Pitch Davenport, ground ball to third. Boyer to White for the out, 2 out. And so now we look for the best bat against the righty. It will be Jesus Salou, who's at 266, no homers and 18 RBI. Same deal stands. A base hit scores a run. Hobby delivers, ground ball to short, Grote to White, and that retires the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. After 7, it's still 4-0 St. Louis. So Davenport stays in the game to play short. He's average, and Pierce comes in to pitch. Billy is 3-0 on the year. With a 2.11 ERA in 21 innings, he's allowed 18 hits. He has given up 3 homers, walked 8, and struck out 7. And I forgot to take that drink. Athletics lead the Senators 4-0 in the 8th. Ken Boyer at the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and an RBI. Pierce delivers. Strike 3. A 2-2 pitch for strike 3. I'll bring up Charlie James, who was 0 for 3 with the strikeout. Now, most of you know that this place was enclosed in 1971, before the 71 football season, when the 49ers moved from Kezar to here. They put that lovely little carpet down for a number of years before reverting back to grass for the rest of the run. But you might not know that they were not the first football team to call Candlestick Park home. The Oakland Raiders played, I believe, 2 years here, or at least part of 2 seasons here at Candlestick, with the open outfield. That must have been a real challenge. That was back in the early days of the AFL. I think 61 and 62, or 60 and 61. So, and now you know. Pierce delivers. There's a pop-up. Third base side. Hart's there. 2 out. I'll bring up McCarver. Tim is 2 for 3 with a double, a single, and a run scored. Pitch. There's a line drive to left. That will be extra bases. McCarver has another double. That one didn't quite bounce off the wall, but off the track. McCovey couldn't get there in time, and that'll bring up Johnny Lewis, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored and a walk. They go to the 9th in D.C. It's 4-0 A's. So a 2-out Lewis would love to bring McCarver home. And it'll be a pinch hitter, so Lewis won't have the chance. It's Phil Galliano. At 333, no homers and 6 RBI. Pitch from Pierce, struck him out. He swung on, he lunged at an 0-2 breaking ball for strike 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. If the Giants are coming back, they need to do it right now. They go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-0 St. Louis. So Glenn Hobby has gone through the lineup for 3 times. 109 pitches, 7 innings, 5 hits, a walk and a strikeout. And he's milking a shutout here in the bottom of the 8th. Harvey Keene walked, singled. He's 1 for 2. Pitch, fly ball to left, and out of play. So no balls and 2 strikes to count to Harvey Keene. Hobby's pitch, foul. Ooh, hit McCarver in the mask. So Stevie Wonder gives McCarver a minute to compose himself. It's warmed up a bit, 71 degrees. It was 64 when this doubleheader started. Wind's blowing out the center at 13, so anyone who can find it can probably hit one out. Well, Keene will get at least a single as he hits that one in the left center. So a single to start the Giants' 8th. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. They've stranded 6. No runs, 6 hits, and no errors for the Giants. And they have stranded 6 so far. Chuck Hiller is 0 for 3. You can see on the scoreboard that Baltimore leads the White Sox 1-0 in the 5th in that big game in the American League. Pitch to Hiller, ground ball to third. Boyer to Javier for 1, to White for 2. And that is a double play. So 2 out, nobody on for Willie Mays, who's 0 for 3 with the strikeout. Minnesota 4, the Tigers 1 in the 8th in Detroit. Pitch from Hobby, line drive right to Boyer. He had to jump, but he saved a double with that. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 9th. It is 4-0 St. Louis. So Javier, I guess Hobby, and Flood for the Cardinals here. Javier is 1 for 3. He has doubled and driven in his 13th run. Line drive to Cepeda, 1 out. So I'm controlling the Giants. I always control the home team in the season replays, or at least in the neutral replays like this. So let's see what they do with Hobby. He will not bat. His day is done. He will not get the shutout, but he leaves with a healthy 4-0 lead. And would you imagine that? You know who they used to pinch hit? Bob Uecker. Yeah, look at the look on his face. He's stunned too. He is hitting at 125. 4 for 32. He walked twice in the first game, by the way. Pitch from Pierce, and he's got a base hit. He lines one over the head of Chuck Hiller. And so Uecker is on with a single. The 8th hit of the night for St. Louis. And Uecker just kind of chuckles. Here's Flood. Kurt is 0 for 1. He's walked twice, struck out once, and scored a run. Pitch to Kurt. There's a little nubber into center field, so back-to-back hits now. Uecker on second, Flood on first, and that'll bring up Dick Grote, who was 2 for 4. He's got a single and a double on his dance card with an RBI. Here's the pitch. Here's a ground ball to short. Davenport to Hiller for 1, to Cepeda. That's 2. So no runs, 2 hits, no errors. The Cardinals strand 1. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Ron Taylor gets to lock this one down. It's 4-0 St. Louis. So Taylor, kind of a mixed bag, 1 and 2 on the year with 2 saves, but a 4.54 ERA. In 33 innings, he's allowed 28 hits, 8 homers, 10 walks, and 26 strikeouts. Willie McCovey's 1 for 3 in the nightcap with a single. And he pops that one up. White has it on the cut of the grass, 1 out. So the Giants are going to need something here. Orlando Cepeda, he's 1 for 3. Taylor's pitch. Fly ball to deep center. Clemens, the new right fielder, will turn and watch it go. A solo shot for Cepeda, and there goes the shutout. So Clemens, who came in to play right field and bat 7th, just couldn't do anything with that one in the right center. So it's a 4-1 game. Phillies 5, Pirates 2 in the 8th. From Nite Park in Philadelphia. Here's Holler. He's 1 for 3. Pitch from Taylor, and that one is hit to right. Clemens is back, and that one is gone. So back-to-back home runs for the Giants here. The 7th from Holler, and it's 4-2. Tigers making a comeback in the 9th against the Twins, 6-4 there. So here's Jim Ray Hart after the back-to-back home runs. He's 1 for 3 with a double. Told you this was not academic with Taylor, and those of you back in St. Louis are starting to run out of fingernails now. Pitch to Hart. That one is driven to deep left center. Back goes James, and that will stay in the park. 2 out. The wind's now howling. 17 out to center field. Davenport, the last hope for the Giants. He's 0 for 1. He took over at short last time up. Pitch from Taylor, and that's going to get to the wall. Clemens will bring it in. Davenport's in with a double. And so the tying run comes to the plate. It will not be Billy Pierce. It'll be Cap Peterson, who is hitting 185 with a no homers and an RBI, but he does hit righties at a 256 clip. He is the tying run. He's also the last chance, unless he can reach. Pitch from Taylor, right back to Ronnie, throws to first, and the Cardinals win 4-2. So we got ourselves a split of this doubleheader. Took 2 hours and 54 minutes to play game 2. Let's tell you how we got them. The runs scored. 4 runs and 9 hits for the Cardinals. 2 runs and 9 hits for the Giants. St. Louis started the scoring off in the first on a sac fly by Ken Boyer to make it a 1-0 lead. I wish I'd remembered that. In the third, Nick Grote doubled, scoring Glenn Hobby to make it 2-0. In the fourth, the Cards sent 7 to the plate to score 2 runs on 2 hits and 2 walks. Javier with a double to score McCarver, and Glenn Hobby with a sac fly to make it 4-0. Giants made it a game here in the 9th. Cepeda with his 10th of the year to make it 4-1. Then Holler on the next pitch to make it 4-2. That was his 7th, but the Giants put the tying run on, but they couldn't do anything with it. Tim McCarver 3-for-4 tonight with 2 doubles. Cepeda for the Giants 2-for-4 with a homer, and the same for Tom Holler. Glenn Hobby gets the win. 8 wonderful innings. Ron Taylor tried to blow it for him, but he couldn't quite do it. No save. 8 innings, 6 hits, no runs, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. Herbal did not pitch well for San Francisco. 7 innings, 4 runs, all earned, 6 hits, walked 5 and struck out 2. He is now 1-2 on the year. All right, the complete scoreboard on this Wednesday, the June 10th of 1964. We told you the Cubs beat... Oh, I didn't tell you the Cubs beat the Mets earlier today, 7-5. Sure with a win. Started it with a loss. Lindy McDaniel with a save. The Mets fall to 12-43. The Cubs, by the way, are playing well. I didn't think they were. 27-23. 7.5 back of the Pirates. First game of the Twin Bill was the Giants 4, the Cardinals nothing. First game of the Twin Bill at Fenway. Boston 11, New York 2. Angels shut out the Indians 6-0. Phillies did beat the Pirates 5-2. Chris Short goes to 3-2. Bob Friend drops to 2-7. The lead over Cincinnati for Pittsburgh now is 4.5. Baldashek with his 10th save for the Phils. Minnesota holds on to beat the Tigers 6-4. Jim Perry gets the win in relief. He goes to 3-1. Mickey Lolich with a loss. He's 6-4. Arrigo with his 2nd save. Washington comes back to beat Kansas City 5-4. How about that? Ridzik with a win, 1 to go 1-0. John Wyatt takes the hard luck loss. He goes to 1-8. Baltimore with a big win over the White Sox, 7-3. Robin Roberts goes to 8-3 on the year. Red Sox sweep a doubleheader. How about that? They are celebrating in Detroit tonight. Red Sox win the second one 5-1. Spanswick. Never heard of him. Anyway, he's 4-3. Ralph Terry, we have heard of. He takes a loss. He goes to 2-5. There was a doubleheader in Cleveland. And the Indians in the nightcap won in 17 innings, 2-1. Gary Bell gets his first win of the year. Take a look at that box score. They don't even have who won it. 4 hours and 42 minutes in the second game. Dean Chance with a solo homer down the right field line to start the 17th. Well, that's how they got it. I'm trying to find him on the list here. A pinch. The right fielder went 1 for 6. Well, that was worth stopping that to tell you about. Wow. And in the game, you saw the Reds shut out the Dodgers 4-2 or 4-0, 4-2. Yeah, that's a shutout. Jim Perkey with a win. Phil Ortega with a loss. He goes to 5-6. And the game you just saw, the Cardinals for the Giants too. In that second half of that doubleheader, they split. Pittsburgh leads the National League by 4.5 over Cincinnati, and with a split 6.5 over San Francisco. Cardinals go to 8.5 back. In the American League, with the Yankees losing both games to the Red Sox, Minnesota goes to 34-19, and with a 1.5 lead over the Yankees and 3.5 over Baltimore. Yankees and White Sox is who you'll see Saturday. Next Wednesday, I have Chicago and Baltimore down. I think we'll keep that. If you want to look ahead to the 20th, it's the Yankees and the White Sox again. Let me see. Yep, it's the White Sox and the Yankees this weekend, and right now it's the Yankees and the White Sox the next weekend, but there are some other options. Chicago, Pittsburgh. We've seen enough San Francisco and St. Louis. Probably it's going to be, who knows what we'll do. So right now the Yankees and White Sox are supposed to face off the next 2 Saturdays. So until then, I'm Ron Chuckett for Retro Sports Network. We'll talk to you the next time.